Good morning, pupils. Today we're going to look at graphs. There are many types of graph. Or charts. Today we are going to look at three types: pictographs, bar charts, and line graphs. Pictographs you will have come across in P1 and P2. This is where we use pictures to represent the information or data. Here you will see that we have a pictograph depicting how people have got to school, how children have got to school, and each of the circles represents two children. In the bottom graph, the key has changed, so what each picture means has changed. Each of them now represents 4 children. Pictographs work for discrete data. Discrete data is when it is either one thing or another. Bar charts is another one that you will have come across and that we will be working on today. Bar charts is another way of displaying discrete data. For example, it's either a cat or a dog. You don't get a dog cat or a cat dog. It is one or the other. Bar charts can be shown as in this picture, where they are lined up on the horizontal or x-axis, but they can also be shown with them lined up on the y-axis, or so that the bars go in a horizontal manner. With bar charts, you can also have 2 sets of bars, or 3 or 4 even, representing under each category. For example, in this case, boys versus girls, the information with regards to pets, but separating what the boys have answered and what the girls have answered. The third type we're going to look at today is the line graphs. Line graphs, as their name states, is to do with a line. It always makes me think of dot to dots, because you put the data on the graph, just like we do with coordinates. You end up with dots, and then in this case you join them up using lines. Line graphs are a very clear and easy way of showing continuous data. So for example, with temperature, it doesn't go from one temperature like 28 degrees straight to 29. There are lots of degrees in between, so 28.1, 28.2, 28.3. So it is considered continuous data. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of a bar chart. So I have my title at the top, colours of clothes, I have numbers up the y-axis, and I have my groupings along the x-axis. So in this case, black, blue, red, green, pink, and purple. Bar charts are very good for discrete data, basically where it's one thing or another. So there isn't a continuous, oh well, it could be this kind of shade, or this, it's kind of in between two things. That's not discrete data, that's continuous. This is discrete. It's either one thing or another. So in P1 and P2 you probably did pictographs, which we looked at a moment ago. So a pictograph, you would literally have little pictures in each of these. This is the next stage, which is bar graphs. So for example, if I have 12 items that are black, I could either colour them in up to the 12 and have a bar that's coloured in, or I'll do it slightly differently with the blue. I have 8 items that are blue. I could just do the outline of the bar. I'm just going to put a bit more data on. Now I'm alternating colours just to make it nice and easy to see and to read, because the whole point of graphs is so that it makes the information that you've gathered easier to see, easier to understand, easier to then talk about. So, for example, if I was going to talk about this, I could say I have most of my clothes are red. Purple is obviously the second most popular colour in my clothes, while blue and pink I have about the same amount of those two. The same with my black and my green. Well, that could be because black and green are part of the school uniform, and so I have school uniform sets, and that might be why they're the same. Red might be my favourite colour. That might be why red's so high. So that is a bar graph. This is an example of a line graph. I have my title of my graph at the top. In this case, temperatures through the year. I have my temperatures, my continuous data, so my continuous information down the y-axis, and I have the months of the year along the x-axis. It's called continuous data because I can have a temperature of 16 degrees, I can have a temperature of 16.1, 16.2, 16.3, 16.4, all the way up to 18 degrees. I can then have 18.1, 18, all the way up to 20 degrees. So it is continuous. So how we would mark our line graph is we would take, just like we did with our coordinates. So for example, in February, the temperature was 13 degrees. We would put a little X at where February and 13 meet on the chart. Well, March was warmer. We were up into the 24s. April was warmer again, though we had some wet days, so the average was 28. May, well, we've had some lovely weather. Now, obviously, this is not the exact temperatures, but it's just to give you an idea. In June, it's probably going to be warmer still. Same for July. Come August, I would expect it to start to cool down. And the reason it's called a line graph is because you can then, almost like a dot to dot, join the lines. Join the dots to form your line. This works with continuous data, so halfway between February and March I could go up here to the line and work out that the temperature would be roughly 18 degrees. So that is a line graph.